Welcome back to the third and final installment of the Director's Cut series on James Cameron. We'll be covering camera work, style, and influence.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Greg.
This is Director's Cut. So the last couple episodes, we've been talking about good old Jimmy Cam, James Cameron himself.
JC?
JC! And just kind of going over his filmography and talking about the changes he's made to film. And we'd kind of like to just wrap it all up in a nice bow and talk about it as a whole. We've been talking about his movies kind of individually and how he leapfrogged from one to the next.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Let's talk about everything. So, what would you say is the most James Cameron thing James Cameron has done?
As far as movie? Or
Well, what is the thing that makes James Cameron stand out?
The ocean.
The ocean?
The ocean. No, honestly, it's his camera. It's his camera work. I think that he has a tremendous ability to gain speed, and the films that he does are larger than life, larger than sea, larger than ocean, larger than space, and he has a way of bringing it all into one. And I think that's the telltale sign of him. I think the use of space and lack thereof, and I said we're going to traverse space, land, and sea. So, from his little submarines in the abyss to his giant creative world from Avatar, I think he has a knack, an ability to create realms. That's it.
Almost on a fantasy level. Yeah, I'd agree. I think James Cameron, what really makes him James Cameron is playing with the unknown.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about how he takes the normal and makes it abnormal. But it goes even further than that the more you follow his career. And overall, James Cameron is fascinated with finding the unknown.
Yeah.
And really either imagining or discovering what's out there.
I mean, he puts himself in there.
Yeah.
He's in the hole.
Yeah.
He's diving deep into the ocean. He's doing his job as a director, as a student of film, and diving into his own projects. And we talked philanthropy a little bit. He's invested in this shit. You know what I mean? So sorry to cut you off a little bit there, but
absolutely. I mean, he's I wouldn't necessarily say he's the next Jacques Cousteau, but he's definitely.
Is he Canadian too?
French Canadian.
French,
yeah. But he's got a knack for finding things no one else finds. So he wants to explore the outer edges of the map where those monsters are drawn.
Yeah.
So that's why he designs a submarine and sends it to the bottom of the ocean. He wants to know, and it is that desire to know that fuels his imagination. When he looks up at the sky, he doesn't imagine how hot a star is or how far away it is. He imagines what kind of crazy things are between him and the sparkling
he projects
stars.
himself into that scenario. Yeah.
You think about, Terminator, and he doesn't just wonder what time travel is like. He wonders how time travel would affect his daily life and if it could even change things at all.
And if clothes are time travel worthy.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, to be fair, he's very scientific about it. Truth be told, what little we know about the possibility of time travel speculates that clothes would not go with us.
Right.
Like it's really like time travel and teleportation kind of operate on similar rules in theoretical physics. And this is another thing he's known for, is being scientifically accurate, or as scientifically accurate as he can be. Titanic, the Terminator movies as much as possible, the Alien movies as much as possible. He finds ways to, much like Kubrick before him, develop. Yeah,
Sorry,
I'm not a Kubrick fan, but Kubrick in Space Odyssey and in Alien for James Cameron, they developed artificial gravity that is at least speculatively accurate.
Okay.
Now, it may not hold up to modern science, but the science at the time, it proved that it was at least potentially possible the way he did it. And he likes to be grounded in very specific ways.
Yeah.
And it pulls the audience back down to a place of reality. Like there's enough realness and reality in his stories that we can believe the fake shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's what makes him, really.
Do you think that he's going to have another big one before, say, the Avatars come out?
I'm not sure. Yeah. I think his focus really is on the Avatars right now. If I were to look at... He's getting older, yeah.
I was going to say, he's doing his thing.
If I were to speculate...
Could retire.
He might come out and do a proper Terminator sequel, like the T3 that he would have done. And it's also possible that when he moves on from something, he's moved on from it.
Yeah.
So the only thing I can see that he hasn't moved on from is Avatar. So apparently there are places in his imagination that he has not shown us yet. And they're all Pandora. They're all on Pandora.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember it last episode.
It's hard not to think that he won't. He's used every film as a jumping off point. I feel like he's expressed himself so well in that fact. So it's hard for me to imagine him not doing it. So I won't take it off the books. But
yeah,
I enjoy him as a director. His style, his creativity. As far as influence, I think he's set the bar for the young writers and young directors to come, and I think that's kind of what we're getting at for like this segment, this portion, director's cut. Would you agree?
I would. I mean, the way he's changed film is subtle. It's not overt. The way that going back to Kubrick, the Kubrick effect, named after him. Spielberg, he's known for his big action scenes. And
I was going to bring up Spielberg
a
few times today.
The way action scenes were done.
100%.
Now, the way Cameron has changed film is not necessarily the way film is filmed, but rather the way stories and settings, most specifically, are considered.
Perfect. Yeah.
So, James Cameron... His lasting influence and his legacy on film, outside of the films he has made, is he focuses on setting, and he's changed the way we think about settings. He focuses on details, so that we focus on details. And be you an audience member, a critic, or a fellow filmmaker, those are influences that cannot be dismissed. Even though he didn't invent something new, he did, but even though he didn't invent a new kind of dolly, he didn't invent a new kind of shot. He thought up a way to use all the same stuff that we've had in new ways. And I think that's the thing that no one can ever take away from him.
Cool.
They can ruin his franchises, but they cannot ruin his influence.
He will always be a multi-tool.
Or a tool. I don't know. That robot he made in Future Man seems to not be his biggest fan.
Oh, well.
We're coming to save you, little robot from Future Man. Robot. That said, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon if you'd like to see more of this. Director's Cut will be a monthly series. We're going to be doing 3 episodes a month. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.